ready to go finally. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to From Our Tablet to Yours. It's summertime almost, huh? We've got a good show coming up tonight. We've got a couple of guests. My father's back by absolute popular demand, obviously. Tonight we're going to be doing an Escarole soup that our family does. My father's going to show you how to do that, and then he's going to go right into making Grampy's gnocchi raviolis, the Chico family style, with our family. We're going to use our family sauce. I don't think we're actually going to make the sauce tonight, but he'll tell you about it. After that, we're going to do an herb-crusted pork loin. We're going to serve that with some asparagus and golden polenta with some gorgonzola cheese. Then we've got the radicchio, chicory, and escarole salad that we're going to serve. We also serve that pretty much with every meal we have, almost, pretty often, and that will be served with the pork loin. And then at the end of the night, Michelle is going to finish up with a creme brulee, and she's going to show everybody how to do that. Okay? All right.
I gotta do it.
And I'm Chef Marco. All right. All right. So let's get started.
Make them feel good, or we'll never get back.
All right, so I'm going to leave it with them. They're going to go with it.
All right.
Yep.
Hi. Hi. I'm Pete, by the way. Other than Grampy by the staff and otherwise known by other things, but nonetheless. So today. For those of you who were here the last time, I'll tell you what we have ahead of time here. This is my mother's, Mark's grandmother's, pasta board. That was made by my father for her years ago. So we still use that. That's a family heirloom. And I'll show you something else. She also needed a rolling pin to go with the board of something of this size. So she asked him if he would. Excuse me.
You just need to move 6 inches to your left, so you're in the shift screen. There you go. Thanks a lot.
All right.
I'll stay over here.
This is what they call the spot.
I'll be over here.
All right. So Dad went out and found a piece of maple. Okay. So it comes as a set, and this is before we became mechanized, but nonetheless. So this is Ma's board, Ma's rolling pin. We'll show this. I am not going to use it, but nonetheless, we thought it's a good prop. So, and protection. Not often. When the time came, I suppose. The threat was always there. Dad was a blacksmith. He stood about 5'4". He stood wide about 3.5 feet at the shoulders. And he had arms that really, we would kid him about looking like Popeye, because he just had those. I mean, he actually worked on a forge. Never shoot a horse. He was an industrial blacksmith, worked in GE and Lynn, and what he did was make the hand tongs for the drop forges, because they would take very hot pieces of metal out of the ovens with the tongs, put them in the drop forge, and then the drop forge would come down and form them, and then they would have to take them out. So he would make those. He made machine tools, cutting tools for lathes and other things. So I will tell you that it was a craft. It was one of those things that not everybody could pick up. He went into ornamental work after that. So we're going to share with you again tonight some family food that we prepare. It's pretty basic stuff. Mark, I've heard him say it over and over again. You know, Italian cooking is pretty straightforward and pretty simple. You do it right, it comes out pretty good. I was in Toadstool's bookstore today, and they have a book about the history of Italian cooking and its migration into other countries. And of course, there is the ageless argument as to where the French learned to cook. And so the story goes that it was an Italian queen who married an Italian princess who married a French king. She was 14 years old when she went to France. But the story goes is that because he didn't particularly care for her that much, It was a marriage of convenience and probably politically motivated. She spent most of the time in the kitchen and taught the palace staff all of the recipes that had been developed in France. Now, the French don't necessarily agree with that version of history. But nonetheless, supposedly that's where it all began. That's where the origins of French cooking are supposed to have begun in any event. So it's supposed to have migrated up from Italy. So the things we're going to share with you tonight will be, we're going to start off with really a very basic soup. Many people refer to it as Italian wedding soup. The difference is that we do not add meatballs to it. Some of them will serve it with very small meatballs that are served in it. Ours are pretty basic. It's with it is really with egg and escarole, steamed escarole. We steam the escarole separately and then cook the egg in the soup. Helps clarify the soup at the same time that you cook it and so forth. So let's start with that. We have, we're going to assume most of you know how to make a basic chicken soup, but we have just the broth. There's no chicken in this, it's just the broth. And it's really pretty straightforward. So let's get started with that. Oh, I've got one more story to share with you. Eggs. I want you to see these eggs. It's a little bit of a mint green, blue. Yeah.
Are they Easter eggs?
No, no. These are right from the hen. So, where do you think I got them? Very local. These come from Hollis Auto. If you go down to Hollis Auto and walk into the office, there's a refrigerator there. And in the refrigerator, you will find fresh eggs that are brought there by his wife, who raises hens, and is otherwise known as colorful cluckers. All right? And so my wife and I were shopping at Harvest Market in Hollis, and we were looking at the eggs. By the way, she's over there. That's Fran. So we're standing there looking at the eggs, trying to decide which to buy, organic, otherwise, and so forth. And a voice behind us said, "Don't buy them. Follow me." And so we looked at each other and said, "Well, we can't go too far wrong." So we did. It was Laurie's wife. We followed her out of the market. We drove over to Hollis Auto. And there she had them, absolute, fresh, right from the hen eggs, sitting there waiting for us. So if you're around Hollis Auto and you really want to try a fresh egg, and it does make a difference than what you get in the supermarket, stop in and pick up a set of colorful clucker eggs. Right down, just around the four corners in Hollis, at 122 and 113, right? Right where it's a Sunoco station, right next to Dunkin' Donuts, right across the street from Hollis Pharmacy, right? So that's Hollis Auto. That's go in there and buy eggs, colorful cluckers. Here they are. Yeah. No, they're all different. This is how they come. Huh? I assume. I'm not that much of a henster to know the difference, but nonetheless. All right.
Yeah, you have to color them. Beautiful.
So, tell me when I go off camera here, guys. So we're just going to do this very quickly with you.
Stay in the spot.
Yeah. I'll just do 3 eggs. Too hot. Okay. This soup, by the way, has just come to a boil, and if we put the eggs and what we're going to put in there too soon, it'll just crumble up. We want it to cool down just a little bit, but keep it hot enough to be able to cook the egg when the time comes. Oh, the poor hen. All right. So, many people prefer Parmesan. Our family prefers Romano. So, we're okay?
Mine too.
All right. So in with the egg, we're going to put in, I've got 3 eggs in here. I'm going to put in 4 heaping spoonfuls of the Romano. Obviously, all of this you do according to taste and what you would prefer. And then it's just some ground pepper. You can use it in a pepper mill or just just do it with the ground. I prefer the ground because it does, I think it's a little finer, and for this purpose, I think it's a little bit better. And then we'll simply whisk it up. So two guys are sitting in a bar. They've been there for a while. One guy turns to the other guy and he says, "Hey, I got to tell you, I had sex with your mother last night." The other guy turns around and he says, "That's it." He jumps off the bar, he gets up and he says, "Come on, let's get out of here, Dad." What do I want to do? Move it over here? Okay. Spoon. We'll use this. Okay, so this soup is
Sure
the
do know how
broth.
to make a girl blush, don't you, Grampy?
This soup is. Oh, wait till you hear what's coming.
Oh, yeah, man.
The soup is short of a boil. If it's boiling, it'll really just crumble up, and the egg won't congeal. We want the egg to congeal a little bit and sort of stay together as we put it in there. So this is off the boil, and we're just going to stir it in and let it sit. Now, of course, the work in this recipe is making the soup, which somebody else did. So that always worked better. And quite frankly, that's about it, except this. What we did was take some plain escarole, break it up, just tear it up or cut it if you will, not too fine. And when you're ready to serve it, instead of cooking the escarole in the soup, we cook it separately, and then ladle the soup and the egg into the bowl. And this is going to be your first course. And you can see, I guess you can see, but you can see how that egg has congealed on the top and is just sitting there. And so the Romano and the pepper give it just that little bit of flavor. And so that's your first course for the evening. And it's that straightforward. If you cook a little bit of pasta, you could add a little bit of ditalini, or I'll tell you what we use. We're going to be making raviolis tonight, and the trimming from the ravioli, we would keep those and just chop those up into little squares, cook them for just a couple of minutes, and add that to the soup at the same time. So you boil them and just add it to the soup. But yeah, absolutely. You know, any variation of that sort works.